Okay, David, I understand that spray topping has been used on the focus farm here at David and Kay's place. What is meant by spray topping?
Yeah, Phil, spray topping is it's a way of chemically retarding the plant so that it doesn't go to seed, and that maintains feed quality through the summer.
Okay.
So it's a matter of using small amounts of Roundup is the principal thing that they use, spraying it on and in late spring and getting that feed quality through the summer, which they wouldn't normally get in this sort of climate. There are basically two formulations of Roundup or glyphosate around at the moment. One is a relatively low, it's 360 grams per litre of active ingredient, and we usually recommend about 150 mils per hectare. And the other one is at about 540 grams per kilogram of product, and we recommend that about between 80 and 100 mils per hectare. By not putting those seed heads up, then they don't turn into dead material, which lowers the feed quality later on. And the other part of it is by just stopping the plant from growing, or the grass from growing for a little while, the clover actually comes through and you get this clover response as well, especially as long as you've got some clover in the bottom, and then you get a clover dominance ward going into summer. The feed quality in summer becomes a product of the fact that deer farmers are set stock during November when all the seed head occurs, and they can't do anything else with it because they're all set stock for fawning. Timing of application varies a wee bit depending on the grass species that you have. We would suggest usually between mid-October and mid-November, because you're using glyphosate, which has a toxicity the same as common salt, for example. So it's it's non-toxic. You can actually use it while the animal's in the paddock. So the example here at Dave Jewer's place on the Focus Farm is they actually put the helicopter over the paddock while the hinds were already set stock.
Now, obviously you can't use a tractor on steep hill country, but is using a helicopter much more expensive than it would be just going around mechanical topping with a tractor?
The cost of spray topping is actually quite small. So if you're talking about, in Dave's example, he was paying something like $33 a hectare for the helicopter, plus the price of the chemical, which at 80 mils that he was using is very low. Even on lowland, that compares with a cost of $40 to $45 if you've got a contractor in to actually mechanically top. On Dave and Kay's place, when they've used it, the really unfortunate thing is they've used it going into 2 significant droughts. And that has influenced their stock performance, but it hasn't actually had any adverse effects on the feed quality. So what they've found is that they've been able to maintain a feed quality of around about 10.5 megajoules on the chemically topped or spray topped areas, but the areas that they haven't been able to control have dropped down to nearly 8. So that's a significant shift. At 8 megajoules, then you actually don't expect animals to perform at all.
You're going backwards.
And they tend to go backwards, and we've seen that reflected in some of the past weaning weights that Dave's had on this property. And in fact, over the 3 years, even though we've been very short of feed in the summer, that high quality has actually enhanced the weaning weight. So over 3 years, the weaning weight's gone up by about 4 kilos because of that extra feed quality. Even mechanical topping in that instance only gives you about half of that response.
Does it tend to knock pasture weeds at all when you do it?
Yeah, in terms of pasture weeds, there are pros and cons. So if you're going into a normal summer where you've got a bit of soil moisture and it continues to rain, then the benefit you'll get is in those perennial weeds like Californian thistle, you will actually suppress their growth. And then 2 or 3 years worth of use of chemical topping, you will see them disappear out of the pasture. Now, if you go into a very dry summer and you open the pasture up, then you become at the vagaries of all the annuals like nodding thistles and Scotch thistles and such like.